What's up, comic book fans? And welcome to Comics Icons. Now, JJ, what they call me. And today, we got more Jed McKay's Avengers. This time with issue number 18. And if you missed the last issue, then I'll put a link up at the top of your screen. And there'll be one at the end of the video as well. But when we left off with this series, Storm from the X-Men had gotten an offer from Captain America Sam Wilson to join the Avengers. But before she could give her answer, the team learned of a coming attack from Hyperion, who right now is on a collision course with the Earth with plans to destroy it. So if you guys are ready to find out how the Avengers will be able to save the planet, plus you're dying to find out if Storm accepted the offer, then you guys know what time it is. Let's get it. So we kick this issue off with Hyperion just outside of Pluto's orbit, heading towards the world like a bullet. Meanwhile, back at the Impossible City, the Avengers all have a briefing on the Hyperion situation. And they know that they've previously faced different versions of Hyperion. So they're not entirely sure what this version is capable of. But they figure if he's anything like the other versions, then he's definitely capable of cracking the world in half at his assumed velocity. And Vision assumes that they have about 5.5 hours approximately. But Thor isn't sure how accurate this approximation is, and they have a daunting task ahead of them. And that's when Cap comes in with Storm, and he tells the team that he's invited her to join them and to be a voice for mutant kind. But he also lets them know that Hyperion's broadcast went live right when he had asked her. So she never really got the chance to give her answer. But she responds that she is at the disposal of the Avengers and is down to help in any way possible. And Captain Marvel is all smiles when she sees Storm, and she's already got the perfect task for her. As we then see Storm go off to the X-Men HQ in Alaska to meet with Cyclops. And when they first meet up, they talk about Storm possibly joining the Avengers, and she thinks that it will be a great opportunity for mutants. Although Cyclops just sees it as an opportunity for the Avengers instead, and he offers for her to join him with his new X-Men. But Storm doesn't believe it's a good idea, as she and Scott could never go back to taking orders from one another. Being on the Avengers would be different, as even though Captain Marvel serves as chair for the team, they are all seen as equals, and not a strike team with a combat leader. But right now, Storm needs a psychic, so Cyclops takes her to meet with Kid Omega. Meanwhile, back in the Impossible City, Vision, Tony Stark, and T'Challa all try their best to locate Hyperion. But with all their resources, it's still a tall task for them. And Tony, for one, is also worried about how they plan to stop him once they do find him. But then they're interrupted by the city, who notifies them that they're receiving an incoming call from none other than Blade. But Blade tells the team that only he knows what all this is about with Hyperion. He's the only person that remembers the world with no Avengers, a world created by Mephisto, where Hyperion and the Squadron Supreme of America ran things. And then we pick up on Bleecker Street at the Sanctum Sanctorum, as Wanda Maximoff meets with Stephen and Clea Strange and passes on Blade's message that Mephisto had created a world where none of them became who they are now, and it was Hyperion that was the greatest hero in the world. And though the Avengers eventually prevailed and set things back right, only Blade and Hyperion remember it. Although Clea right now isn't the biggest fan of Blade after the whole Blood Hunt event, so she has a hard time believing his words. But Stephen and Wanda remind her that Blade was possessed, made an unwilling party to atrocity. But he was an Avenger, and they do trust him now. And then we pick up in Asgard on the Rainbow Bridge with Thor and Sam with just under 4 hours left approximately until Hyperion's attack, as they try to understand Hyperion's reasoning for wanting to destroy the world. And where Cap tries to see things from Hyperion's perspective with no longer having a place in the world, Thor understands his plight, but he also knows that their responsibility is to the world and not to Hyperion. But Sam then has the city teleport him back, while Thor stays behind and speaks with Lady Sif, who doesn't too much seem to care about Midgard being in peril, and then asks Thor if he's told them yet, revealing that Thor has a secret. But back in the Impossible City with the approximate countdown now at 2 hours and 12 minutes, the rest of the team come up with a way to stop Hyperion. And using Blade's intelligence that Hyperion is vulnerable to vibranium, they decided to build hypersonic area denial missiles. And once they have his trajectory mapped out, they'll launch the missiles through the city's teleport gates. And the missiles will assume and intercept his path and explode, filling space with a field of high velocity vibranium shrapnel. And when Hyperion moves through that space, that should end the threat. Now, Captain Marvel disputes that Hyperion is extremely fast and could just slip past the cloud of shrapnel. But Vision assures her that Hyperion approaching light speed will be experiencing severe time dilation, and what it seemed like more than 5 hours to the Avengers will be less than a minute for Hyperion, and the shrapnel cloud will be unlikely to register to him at all, and he will die instantly. Meanwhile, Storm reports in with Quentin Quire using Cerebro, telling the team that the mind is now online, while Scarlet Witch, along with the Strangers, report in that the soul is online. And finally, Thor reports in with Lady Sif that the eyes are online. And now with everyone online, the soul joins with the mind and eyes, magic, mutant, and the might of gods. And together they are able to see Hyperion and determine his location, while Iron Man locks in his trajectory. Then T'Challa instructs the city to teleport the munitions on intercept. Vision, though, isn't really convinced that they're doing the right thing and that there should be another way. But Captain Marvel defends that he's left them with no choice and that he wants to die because he has nothing to live for. And she thinks that he never intended to reach the Earth, but instead put the Avengers in a position where they have to kill him because they're the only ones he believes could. And now as they detonate the interceptors, all they can do is wait. But then Vision gets another idea, and he has the city create an emergency dimension gate on Hyperion's trajectory. But the city reminds Vision that they've run this scenario previously, and if it sent Hyperion to another dimension, the gate wouldn't close for hours since the city is still damaged. It wouldn't be able to close the gate before he returned and resumed his collision course. But Vision has a different idea up his sleeve as he questions, what if Hyperion went and didn't want to come back? See, Hyperion chose death and made the Avengers choose death, but they don't have to accept it, as we then see the gate open up in front of Hyperion, taking him from Earth 616 to Earth 901. And by the time Hyperion notices that he's now off course, he's already traveled thousands of kilometers. And at first he thinks that maybe he's dead and the Avengers have killed him. But then he notices that the Earth is within range of his hypervision. But then he's met with an extension of the Impossible City in the form of a plastoid who's come to speak with Hyperion, as he tries to reason with Hyperion and explain that it understands his pain and that the city was in a bad place before the Avengers gave it a better option. Although Hyperion replies that he has no other options. He was a hero, and it was all a lie. But the city responds that he's brought Hyperion to a world that needs a hero like him. This is an Earth that was scourged by monsters, and its cities were destroyed just for sport, with its people abused and heroes murdered. And as a slave, the city was forced to bring the Ashen Combine there in the same manner that he just brought Hyperion here. And this world badly needs a hero, just as badly as Hyperion needs a reason to live. And he insists that Hyperion choose life and be that hero this world needs. Then later on, after all that mess is over with, we pick up with Storm and Thor having a conversation as Thor asks if she will accept the offer to once again become an Avenger. And she responds that she's still considering it and asks Thor's thoughts on the matter. And his response is for her to accept the invitation, because they will need her. But Storm notices that he said that they need her and not we need her. And that's when Thor reveals what he's dealing with, that he's been falsely accused of murder, which you can see in the Immortal Thor series. But it's weighing heavily on him, and that's why he plans to take leave of the Avengers. He doesn't want them to have to deal with his problem, and he doesn't want to put them in danger either. And he once again insists that she take the offer and become an Avenger to speak for her people, and to ensure that a God of Thunder remains with the team. And that ladies and gentlemen, is the end of the issue. So what did you guys think about the issue and how they handled the Hyperion situation? I still kind of think that Hyperion's reasoning for trying to destroy the world is a bit loony, and I'm not sure that he should be anyone's hero. But hey, the Avengers saved the Earth, so what the heck? But we also see the reason for Storm being an Avenger. Since Thor is leaving, this will allow them to keep the Thunder on the team. I gotta admit though, I was hoping to see a little bit more of Hyperion and the team attempting to battle with them. But hey, you can't win them all, right? But of course, I want to hear all you guys' thoughts and theories on how it all went down. And your feelings about Thor being swapped out for Storm on the team now. And as always, if you guys enjoyed this video and this channel, and you'd like to support the channel, then you could do so by stopping by the Comics Icons store and picking up some Comics Icons merchandise, including the background music heard right here in this video available for download. Or by joining the Iconic Fan Club channel membership. And there'll be a link in the description to join. But with your membership, you'll get loyalty badges, member shoutouts, and up to 20% off of Comics Icons merchandise from the Comics Icons store. And you'll even get a chance to pick out a video of your own choosing for me to post. Plus, we've got tiers to the memberships as well, beginning at just 99 cents. Or you guys can donate to the channel with a super thanks. And if you're not able to do any of that, then you can still help out this channel's future tremendously by dropping a like, share, and subscribing to Comics Icons for more icons in the comic book world. But ladies and gentlemen, it's about that time. I'm out.